Hello everyone, Mythic here, and welcome back to another Lucium Total War 3.0 update video. This is going to be a little bit smaller than our normal update video, however we have a massive event tree for the Hungarian Uprising to go over, and we have the Kazakh roster to look through. We'll be saving the Kazakh roster for last though, since it is the least important of the two, and we have a decent amount to cover on the Hungarian Uprising script. The first change that any astute player might notice is the fact that Vienna now has stone walls. Up until now, Vienna has been a wooden-walled city, and we finally sought to rectify that, as it was wildly inaccurate. The first major new event added is the renewal of the alliance with Poland. So, Poland and Austria at the time were allies, and after recently fighting the Great Turkish War, where the Siege of Vienna happened, they are still decent friends. So, you were given this option to renew the alliance with Poland, or break it if you should like, but, you know, why would you? And then you get Austria courts Poland, which has beautiful pictures and beautiful text. Now, of course, there is a chance, a very slight chance, that Poland will decline the alliance, but of course that is randomized, and it can happen to mostly the AI because it will accept the player the majority of the time. Now, as you can see, I have gotten exceptionally unlucky here, and Poland does not want me to ally them, so oops. But we also have our first Hungarian event, which is the Unrest in Hungary event. So this is just giving you a background that there is going to be a Hungarian uprising, and if you read the event, it tells you there will be ways to address this. So as the event goes along and progresses in the script, there are multiple ways you can either reduce or expand the Hungarian uprising. So a lot of times you'll be given the option to pay money, vast sums of cash, to hopefully placate the Hungarians, and depending on how many of these times you placate them or choose to be belligerent towards them, it will impact how fearsome the Hungarian uprising is. So there is an incentive to try to manage your money, unless you're just suicidal. Now, another thing that can happen is some other countries, also known as the bigger rivals to Austria at the time, France and the Ottoman Empire, they are given the option to support the Hungarian uprising, which means they'll pay money to the Hungarian revolt, which can also increase the size of the revolt, and we'll touch on that in a second when we go in to those countries and see what the event looks like from their perspective. And now we arrive at our first major choice event, the choice to reinforce the Budapest garrison. If you'd like, you can pause, you can read the event, but I'd recommend not doing it because I think it's better if you experience the uprising yourself. So you are given the choice to spend a lot of money, which will hire a home guard militia unit, and decrease the chance of revolution. This would also extend how long it takes for the revolution to fire. So if you're openly belligerent to the Hungarians, it may fire earlier on in the campaign, whereas if you keep paying them, it will decrease the revolution size and put it off for a lot longer. And then if you choose to reinforce it, there you go. So as you see, there will be some new troops here, mostly this unit. And I'm going to now skip the rest of the events and skip right to the Hungarian uprising, as I find it best if we don't show every event. That way there is some exploration for you guys to do when you play the campaign yourself. Now, soon before the revolution launches, you are given the option to let Hungary go peacefully, which means you won't have to fight a revolution, however you will lose a lot of your land, or you can choose to decline, which will start the actual violent revolution. So, as you can see here, if I click this, very soon Hungary will receive their independence. And as you can see, when the Hungarians are trying to get their independence, you will receive this building, which is the Hungarian Revolution building. It's very similar to the Spanish Succession Crisis building. Basically, it's just a meme building, but it allows for the Hungarian uprising to occur, which is very important. And now that I've moved all of my troops outside of the cities and allowed their revolts to happen, you can see that the Hungarian uprising has launched. Now, they do look sort of similar to the rebels, but, you know, don't worry about that. They are actually their own country, with their own roster, and Hungarian troops, I guess, if that's interesting to you. But yes, this is the peaceful option for the Hungarian uprising. Now let's see the violent version. Now we'll be checking out what happens if the revolution turns violent. You will then get a war called Rajowski's War for Independence, and this tells you that you have a little bit of time to prepare for an attack. And as you can see, we have been attacked by King Francis himself. Now, if you are very good at Lucium, and I'm sure some of you are, you can make an attempt to fight this army, but it doesn't look like that's going to be possible for us. So, we have been defeated. And this begins the Hungarian War for Independence. And the next turn there are more attacks. So pretty much attacks will keep going. There are a number of things that will occur. This is basically the beginning of the Hungarian Revolution. I'm not going to show everything, as I want some of it to still be interesting for when you play it the first time. However, this gives you a basic overview of how the Hungarian Revolution script works. And this is the kind of event you will receive if you are playing as either France or the Ottomans. You will be given the choice to invest in the Hungarian Uprising, which will increase the chance that they will spawn and also provide them more armies at the start, or you can decline and just save the money. So the choice is really up to yours. We are of course going to accept, and there you can see Ottoman support for Hungary. Ever wanted to play the most technologically backwards nation that Lucium has to offer? Well, now you can, with our great and lovely Kazakhstan. That kinda rhymed better than I expected. Anyway, moving into our beautiful Kazakh roster, and I use beautiful a lot because this is truly glorious. Of course, starting off with civilian conscripts, moving into Kazakh Clan Home Guard, Kazakh Royal Spears. We have Roaming Huntsmen. This is a shared unit with Persia and the Bani Khalid. We have Kazakh Clan Bowmen. They look perfectly like steppe peoples. We've got Kazakh Musketeers, pretty standard rifle unit. Kazakh Tribesmen. Coming over here, we have Kazakh Foot, another disease, I'm sure. We have the Khan's Ceremonial Guard, which is a heavy archer unit. And then we have the Kazakh Riflemen, who are African Americans, definitely not taken from another mod. And finally, we have Muslim Grenadiers. Every Islamic nation has these. We have Armenian Light Cavalry. This is a standard unit. We have Far Eastern Royal Cavalry, which is it's a unit for generals. We have Kazakh Khan Cavalry, which are just European-style infantry. And then we have our Kalmyk Cavalry. The Kalmyks were a tribe in the area. They were in Russia mostly, but they were also in the Kazakh steppe. And we also have the Kazakh Mounted Heavy Archers. And then we have the standard cannon. So Kazakhstan is a very technologically backwards nation, but, you know, you've got bows, if you like bows. This concludes our Lucium 3.0 update video. We want to thank you all again for coming out. Thank you so much for supporting Lucium, and please join our Discord server for any further updates. We're going to be posting a lot more regularly on there, so if you want more Lucium content, I recommend you definitely join the Discord server. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this Lucium 3.0 update video. Make sure to subscribe and join our Discord server. Mythic out.